I worked for about 12 years, full time, and that's when I said, enough. I wanted to slow down. I wanted to simplify my life, and I wanted to make more organic choices. My children were at that time 12 and 5, so I wanted to be available to them. So I became a stay-at-home mother. That was about 15 years ago. Then sometime then a little later, I started to do freelance writing. For last 13 years, I've been doing that. In fact, I think today also there's an article published in Bangalore. One day in that phase, a friend, Lena, called me. She had seen this very dynamic website run by the library of a school in Kerala. It was so exciting, so happening. She felt, this is going to get the children visiting it again and again and again. This is what the internet should be. This is okay. We have seen so many sites like that, but there's some connect that she made that day. Maybe because Lena has been working extensively with children for more than 20 years. She tutors on science subjects, and she runs an online tutoring site. So maybe because of that connect, she saw something there, a void. So she said, we cannot tell our children not to sit at the computer because that is the future. We need to guide them. We need to get them to benefit from it. We have to teach them, to identify the pitfalls and the positives, the consequences of good and bad action. So immediately I thought of, I used to tell my two boys, you're addicted to the computer, you're addicted to the internet. So I said, I have to change my approach. So we got in two more friends, and all of us registered Jago Teens. Jago, incidentally, in Hindi means wake up. Now, researching Lena's idea in 2009 February, we found there was this massive void in that space of internet safety in India, which was there was no sustained, no structured education of that on internet safety happening. So it was very shocking. We were stunned. Whereas the schools, they were assigning so many projects, and the children were coming upon this unrestricted content, and they were plagiarizing. Happily, they plagiarize, copy paste. There's no concept of stranger danger. No, they're oblivious to cybercrime. So why were they like that? Because as it happens many times, even with adults, they know not what they do because it's not been pointed out to them. So the other thing is, there's an intangible threat on the internet. How does one get a fifth grader to understand that this anonymous, abstract, online, faceless user could be an abuser? So these were some of the challenges that we faced when we began. We launched workshops with, initially, the cyberbullying was our focus. So I remember when we addressed middle school, there was this boy, we asked him, what would you do if somebody abuses you? And he said, I'm going to abuse him right back. He said, what if it was A abusing you, but it was you are abusing A, and it was actually B pretending to be A? So, he was flummoxed. These concepts, perspectives, they are just beyond them until it is pointed out. So we got around to pointing out perspectives, including things like everything on the internet is 24/7, so is the trauma. So therefore, we feel that there will be greater restraint if perspectives are shown to them. And therefore, incidents of cybercrime would reduce. So we begin with that mud in the glass of water activity, my favorite. And we found that, coming in as a third party and talking to the children it was such a good platform for them to come out and talk about their social and emotional dilemmas, because the parents, of course, they had no clue what the children were doing online. The teachers were busy with curriculum finishing, so there was no online life skills being imparted. So us coming forward, they would cluster around at the end of the workshop and say, ma'am, I'm going to go back and remove all the strangers from my friend list. Ma'am, have you been to so-and-so school? Because my sister studies there. Please go and talk over there. So we felt very good. We were also learning along the way, actually, a lot of these things. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known. Sometimes we felt, a number of times we felt, that the safety instinct is not razor sharp in this generation. They are very easily trusting. Maybe it's a combination of both. So when we tell them that your online safety impacts your real world safety. So, and your safety is your responsibility. So don't add strangers to your friend list. Don't interact with them. Then some of them, especially these pre-teens, number of times they would stand up and say, "But ma'am, not all strangers are bad." And it's a little bit difficult to, the trust we kind of we bring them down. We are supposed to show more trust in people, but the reality is something. So sometimes they also say, we've heard them tell us, "Ma'am, we can make out when their intentions are good or bad." This was, I think, 10 or 11-year-olds. So again, another challenge. How do we do this? They were even going and meeting strangers, online strangers they met the meeting. So, and here I was thinking that in India we have this close-knit family dynamics, and that children are not, even in urban India, I thought children are not going to go and meet online strangers without telling somebody at home, but that was already happening. So what we did was we showed them the safety slide of social sites. We told them that with one hand, these social networking platforms are providing you the space to do your oversharing, sharing and oversharing, and with the other, they're also giving you all this in fine print, and those words are exactly what we are telling you. But if you would care to read them, so, people are not who they say they are. It's right there, the grandma rule, and if you're a minor, don't say you're over 18, so all that. So that worked. And another thing is personal stories. When there's some, true life incidents in our own personal family or friends, and when we relate that. So for example, my colleague Lena, her daughter had this very unnerving experience with a friend. So when we relate that, then all these other children, they all want to be part of the discussion. They talk about incidents in their own families, and also everybody else is then, engaged. They are empathizing, they're internalizing that safety message which we have been trying to tell them. Now, at Jago Teens, we are a kind of a very collaborative, co-opting family. We are like a family setup. So we take in a lot of college volunteers, and because, we have this thing, because we say in India, we say in Hindi, bhaiya, didi for brother and sister, and children look up to them. So when they go and talk to students, these children, I think the message goes across better. So what happens is when they say, you watch out about sexting, when they caution them about sexting, that may come back and sting you later. Or when they say, play age-appropriate online games. So, rather than have us say, sometimes it's more powerful when the students, the college students come and talk to them. Or if there's something uncomfortable on the net, then you must go and talk to trusted adults or parents. So then the children listen. So we've had a lot of inputs from college volunteers. Like we had this postgrad student who created an animation video that tells children to be wary of even friendly uncles who may have an ulterior motive. So we screened that in schools. Then we had a very useful input from the very senior faculty member at a premier law college in Delhi. So they had told us that you must go and address college students, not just school. And they gave us a lot of inputs also, especially to do with laws that deal with women-centric laws that were enacted in early 2013 in India that deal with online sexual harassment, stalking, and voyeurism. So another college student created that college module. So we've been conducting workshops at colleges, and we also include a very major segment is that your online social profile is going to impact your future admissions and job prospects. So you must be careful of what you put that today. Nobody, very few people in India are aware of that. And one segment which is very vulnerable in India is this economically weaker section, and volunteers love to address them. They find it very fulfilling. I don't know if you're aware, but in India, there's this very massive internet mobile penetration in that segment. They are so active even on Facebook, on social media. They may come under pressure and share personal photographs. Or, there was this incident where there was this teenage boy, he had mouth ulcer. So he went about looking on the internet, and he concluded that he's got mouth cancer. So these things happen. So lastly, one how can I not talk about one unique challenge in India when we are in the middle of a session once it happened? Not just the power, but even the generator packed up. And we had just finished our play acting segment of Facebook activity chart, and we were going to screen our videos and slides. We were left high and dry. So then and there we decided, my goodness, now we need to create products, something which was going to keep them involved. So we made the snake and ladder board game, internet safety board game. We made that into large mats, which we play in big events, so all the children can cluster. And that's the way the topic is introduced. And board game, it can be played in a family setup, because so that in case of an online or real world abuse happening in a family setup, they get to talk about it. They get a platform to start opening up. So that was one thing. Another thing is Leena, she made some puppet characters and we made some skits. And later, a few months later, we found that the age bar of internet access is going lower. So from standard 2 and 3, we need to talk. So we are screening those videos, puppet videos that we made. So ours is primarily an awareness exercise. We teach perspectives and awareness of online life skills to help prevent cybercrime. Because when we ask youngsters about cyber laws, enforcement penalties, they all shake their heads and they say they have no idea. It's pathetic. So awareness can make a potential perpetrator think twice and avoid committing the crime. Gandhiji famously said, "You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty." So the internet is like the ocean, and we have faith in our journey on this ocean of humanity. Thank you.